Hey guys, welcome back. Check out this video by Pace Morby.
It is amazing that your entire freaking life, somebody has been telling you what to do your entire life, both spoken and non-spoken, since the moment you were freaking born. It is crazy when you stop and think about like what you even do to your own children. What you mostly tell your children is what not to do. And we think it's normal, and it is. But then there's a moment where all of a sudden they're 18, you're like, figure it out. And so no wonder so many of us want this hand holding and we want this step-by-step thing. It's like, just tell me what to do. I want you guys to remember there's nothing wrong with you. It's just that for your whole life, a lot of you guys, you're wanting to bridge from W-2 mentality to entrepreneur mentality. It's not your fault. It is a thing. Acknowledge it. Be aware of why it is what it is. It's not that you're broken. It's that somebody was telling you what to do and what not to do, literally all the way through even your adult life.
All right, Kirby, what do you think about this video? And especially because you were in the military, and I know this is commonly talked about for service members that you're always told what to do. But I know it's not too different from the regular world as well, just going into adulthood. But what are your thoughts on this video?
I like the video for the aspect he talked about the psychology of it. The psychology of it is, yeah, from the day you born, you told what to do and not to do. And then the one that hits me more than all is parents tell you what to do, not to do, what to do, not to do. Then you turn 18 and be like, okay, now go figure it out. You never give them the opportunity to figure it out their whole, adolescent life before they turn 18. Then you just throw them out there to the wolves. For the most part, parents didn't show them what to do from their actions of being a parent and what to do. So the kid, only thing they're going to do is just repeat the habits that they seen their parents do, and they think it's normal. They figure uh, they lean on what they parents, the words of wisdom, not the actions of wisdom, the words of wisdom that their parents probably laid upon them. But for the most part, they're going to do what their parents told them to do, or what they seen their parents' actions was when they was growing up, and they're gonna think that's normal and that's how life should be. I've talked to multiple people who said that, when we talk about finances and, getting out of debt and using the money to buy assets, I've had multiple people tell me, what's wrong with struggling? My whole family struggled. That's just normal for me. Um, And then going to the aspect of being told what you do all your life, you always hear people, and Alex, we done hit on this a couple times today, of people saying, "Oh, I got to get a job, I got to get benefits, job benefits, job benefits." So you go to a job, they tell you, "Oh yeah, you can use that program, but don't use that program, don't do this," and then they want to just think that they can just instantly flip it to entrepreneurship. And it's a hard concept. It's a hard concept to do. I mean, I'll just take it for me personally. I was always told what not to do and what to do. And then, yeah, and in the previous video I was talking about, I wish I had somebody like me that could take me through the step, like everybody wants now. Uh, but the hard part of it is doing the actual work that's involved, the understanding. If you get the understanding of how something done, like i.e. real estate, I had no clue on what real estate was. Somebody came in to my house, was remodeling my house, and asked me, uh, did you ever think about getting to real estate? The first answer was no, but I wasn't gonna dismiss it. And I just start learning what it was. How was people actually making money from long-term holding real estate? So once I learned that, then I was like, okay, now I got to do more research and say, all right, this is what you do. Then look at the next step, look at the next step, like that. Your first endeavor in any entrepreneurial event is not going to be perfect. Everybody wants it perfect because they want it just like a job. I'll show up and then I'm getting a paycheck 2 days later. So, but I went through it, but it's obtaining the information, obtaining the data to be able to execute the next move. But people don't want to go through that mindset of it. But Pace Morby brought a great point. Why? It's because they've been told what to do their whole life. Now they got to go figure it out for the most part for themselves. But in this social media world and this information age technology, it's always somebody there to show you the next step. You just got to look for that person or look for that information.
I see this often with everybody. If they're not verbally asking the question of, what do they need to do, like Pace Morby was talking about, they show it in their actions. Like they're not clueless, but they're kind of like dependent on whether it's an employer or a family member or someone. And that shift to entrepreneurship or investing, I think just financial freedom in general, where you're taking control over your own life, you're becoming independent from even the say so of your employer. And I think that's the biggest one for everybody, or for the majority of people, is they may, you always hear about people saying, oh, I'm an independent man, I'm an independent woman. But if you depend on your employer, you are still a dependent human being. And shifting away from that is a drastic change, and it requires a different way of thinking and a different game plan, a different strategy of life. If it's getting out of debt first, and then if it's building, investments and cash flow. So it's something that I see amongst everybody. And it's, going to his video, how he was saying, where they just seem kind of like clueless, like they need somebody to hold their hand. I mean, we see that with people trying to learn entrepreneurship, where they don't know where exactly to go or what steps to take, because it's not taught either. It's like they're not taught by their parents on finance. You're not taught in school on finance. And you kind of just need that guidance on how to get there. The biggest one for me, though, is just like going back to the point of being independent. I think that W-2 mindset makes you a dependent human being. That's something that I've always tried to avoid, at least for myself. And it's a shame that you don't see more people trying to do this young. But I think it's just how society's set up, from going throughout childhood to then going into school, and then graduating, getting a job. Like, you kind of skip that step, and if you don't make that fast decision right after you become an adult, that 18 years of age or whatever, if you don't make that decision of, hey, let me try to figure this out, so I'm not dependent on an employer or asking these questions my whole life, then kind of get held back and delayed. But unless you figure it out soon enough.
Right. And I'm not gonna lie, for me it was, when I got out of the military, it took me 14 months to find a job, any job. You know, I was trying to do I used to be the guy who would knock on your door, the solicitor, to try to put gutters on you. I was trying to find any way to get income. I was doing all kind of crazy stuff. Trying, never got a paycheck for that stuff, but it took, to get an actual job, it took me 14 months. And then once I got the job, it paid me little or nothing, but I had the job. And then, I mean, of course, we chronicled it on this channel a lot. Then I volunteered to deploy again with the military. After already getting out, I volunteered to deploy with them again. But it was just to put money in my pocket. But the whole time I'm deployed, I'm doing the job on the deployment, but all the money, I'm just thinking of, I have to figure out a way where I'm not sitting out there depending on somebody else to feed my family. So first thing for me was, I'm paying off debt. I'm pay off the debt. So it's less for me to have to pay out whatever money I get once I get back to the States, whatever job hopefully I could find there. I will have to, the income that's needed to cover, just the bills, the basic necessities was important. And then so I got a job once I got back from the military deployment, but I had no debt. I still had a house payment. I mean, everything but the house. I still had a house payment. So when I got the job paid a little more than the previous job I had in the States. And then, but the amount that went out towards debt was none besides the house payment. So all that extra money that I had, I was just like, all right, I'm just gonna stack it to the side. I'm gonna put, the bare minimum in a mutual fund, and that's what I was doing. And then I just kept doing that. Then I started increasing the amount that I put in the mutual fund, because I started seeing how, compound interest and all that other stuff was working. So then I started just putting every dollar I had into into the mutual fund. The only thing that I had just for just money to do whatever I want with, go out and eat or whatever, was only $50 a month. That's how much I disciplined myself, $50 a month. And I kept that for years, and then of course I went and got higher paying jobs, but I still kept that same mindset. $50 a month is the money that I can use to blow, but everything else just went into investing. And same thing for my wife also, just everything just went into investing. And then, like we said, we invest about 82% of the income, since then, and we just kept just adding compounding, doing that. But those were the steps that I took. But I still had the same problem. Was, all right, I have these jobs, but I still need the job, because if I stop right now, then all the money that I have, i.e. in the stock market, or that I have saved up, is going to dwindle away, because bills are still going to come. You're still going to have, you know insurance bills, lights, gas, utilities, all that, cell phone bill. Those are going to be there, and if I stop working today, then it's just going to suck the funds out. So then that's when I start thinking of, all right, I got to find a way to make money outside of the job. And then, of course, I started with, trying to be a day trader. Lost money there, which is fine, because, like I said, I'm willing to take the bumps, but I'm going to take action. I'm going to take action. I'm willing to take the bumps along the way. And then, so then it started with, then I learned option trading. Then option trading brought more brought more income in, but it wasn't enough that I could say I was confident to be like, okay, I can quit everything and I'm totally dependent on this option trading, because I just didn't have it down. Um, and then from there, you know, I started learning how to swing trade and stuff like that. And then I saw the income coming in. I was like, okay, we good. And wife's still working, still lifestyle still the same, but now there's no house payment or nothing. So the only thing we needed was enough just to get by, was just to pay the utilities. So it's not the amount that I needed to cover that was very low. And then from there, it just went to real estate. Then it went to, buying yeah, real estate, then in the middle of real estate, buying businesses, and then stuff like that. And then now you look up, and then you have way more than enough to cover everything that you have, and you have access to go travel and do all the stuff that you want to do. But that was my mindset. That was my aha moment of, not being able to just find jobs at the snap of my fingers. That was like, okay, am I gonna go through my whole life thinking, oh, I gotta go find a job, I gotta go find somebody to pay for this? I mean, so I can, feed my family. I need to be dependent on an institution to give me a job to do it. And I was like, I'm not going through that life. I was like, I can't do that. I got to figure it out another way. And yeah, here we are. So that was my aha moment of being rejected from jobs, not finding jobs. The financial crisis was a blessing and a curse for me. It was a curse because I needed a job real bad and I couldn't get one, but it was a blessing of saying, but giving me that moment of realizing that I can't live my life hoping that somebody is going to give me a job interview and, like me, and, let me be on their team, and then having to go to work 9 to 5, getting dressed up. Alex, you know me, shorts and t-shirt guy. I can't be in all that snazzy stuff every day. So, that was my aha moment to realize that I gotta make sure I make work optional and not a necessity in my life.
All that being said, guys, if you have any questions or comments, please let us know down below. Don't forget to share this video, subscribe, like the video, and we'll see you guys in the next one.